my friend Scott here representing Youth Potential. Now, before I begin, I just want to talk about my friend Malika and give her a shout out. Now, Malika has, or should I say had, an Instagram account called Selfharmerproblems. She did absolutely amazing, had absolutely amazing content, inspirational, relatable, educational, all content based around self-harm. And she built up 25,000 followers, which is an amazing achievement. That's way more followers than what I've got. And unfortunately, her account got hacked and she's had to start all over again. So I just really want to give this shout out to you guys on behalf of her and just say, please, if you use Instagram, go over to Instagram now and start following her new account, which is at Selfharmerproblems_. I will put that in the description below so that you guys can, well, copy and paste it if you want or whatever, okay? So yeah, please go and follow her. She really, really, really deserves to get all of her followers back because she has an awesome account. So anyway, let's begin. So thank you very much for you guys that voted on this video. I had over 100 votes across 5 different options for my next video, and does medication or therapy work? Was the dominating result. So let's get on with it, shall we? Right, so there's probably plenty of you guys that maybe don't have medication or don't have therapy, and you're wondering if medication and therapy works, or perhaps you've just started taking medication, or you've just started therapy and likewise you're wondering if it works or not, or maybe even far down the line of taking medication and in therapy and you're still wondering if it works or not. So I'm just going to talk about a few things from my experiences, and then I will give you my opinion at the end of this video, okay? So let's talk about medication first. So let's say, for example, you aren't on medication and you've had a breakdown recently, or you've noticed you've been feeling low or having problems with your anger, or been feeling like really anxious and afraid. You know, something's just not quite right. So the first thing you should do, obviously, is go and speak to your GP, your doctor. Let them know as much information as you can as to how you've been feeling, what your behaviours have been, and what your thoughts have been. And they may decide to put you on medication, like an antidepressant, an antipsychotic, you know, those kind of mood levelling medications. And the first initial thought probably that you're going to have is like, oh, what do these really do? How do they work? What are the side effects? So you can obviously talk to your GP about those kinds of things, and they'll be able to answer that for you. And then let's say, for example, you decide to go on the medication. You start them, and the likelihood is that you're going to feel some side effects for the first 4 to 6 weeks until your body kind of starts to adapt to them, shall we say. And also I want to say at this point is if that kind of, if the side effects are continuing and they're really sort of unpleasant to put up with, speak to your doctor, okay? All the time that you're on medication, you should be continuously having appointments with your doctor. The chances are they probably will ask you to come back in a certain amount of time, again 4 to 6 weeks, maybe earlier, maybe a bit later, just to check on your progress. They'll want to know, like, if you feel like the medication is working for you, or if it's not, or you're suffering from side effects. And then from there, what your doctor may do is increase your dosage. That's more than likely the first thing they'll do. And then the other thing they could do is change the medication altogether, because there's not one medication for antidepressants, there's not one for antipsychotics, etc. There are many different ingredients, shall we say, that make up all these different ones, and it's about finding the right one for you and your body. So for example, I started off on citalopram, 10 milligrams, as a lot of people do. Then went up to 20, then went up to 40, and I just, after 6 months or whatever it was, it's like, still, I don't feel any better or any different. So what they did was they changed it to something called venlafaxine, 75 milligrams off the top of my head. And yeah, after a month or two, I started to notice that my depressive episodes were kind of easing off a bit. They weren't lasting as long, they weren't as intense. And then after that, after I stopped taking medication like over 7 years ago, and then I had my relapse at the end of 2017, I got back on venlafaxine, and that worked for a while. And then I realised that I was having long depressive episodes at night before bed. So I spoke to my doctor about it, and my care coordinator, and they said that there was such a thing as slow release variations of my medication. So what I did was go back to my doctor, tell them that I wanted to give this a try, and then after a very short period of time, probably just a couple of weeks, I noticed that my long depressive episodes were actually almost becoming non-existent at night, because obviously the medication would release slowly throughout the day, and then the effects of it would last longer. So yeah, you've really got to keep that communication going with your doctor or your psychiatric nurse or whoever it is that's in charge of your care, basically. So, is there anything else I wanted to say on this? No, actually, yes, there is. One more thing I do want to say about medication, again, is that you don't necessarily feel them working. I don't feel my antidepressant working. I feel my antipsychotic working, because it's actually starting to work through me right now. I took it about 20 minutes ago, and I'm starting to feel a little bit giddy, but at the same time I'm starting to feel a little bit drowsy. That's what that one does. But my antidepressant, I don't notice that working. It's only in retrospect do I realise that it's working. So like, for example, I'll get through to the end of the day and I realise I've not had a long depressive episode, and that's really good. And at the times, which don't happen very often when I haven't taken them, I notice that I go into those long depressive episodes, for example. So I only notice the effects of them really if I haven't taken them. So, I mean, you guys may disagree with me, you may have different experiences, so please leave comments below, let me know about your medication. You know, does it, if you forget to take it or whatever, do you notice that you're depressive or anxious or temper episodes, like, do you notice them more, for example? So yeah, that's the one I'm gonna say on medication. Sorry, it's just, oh, my typing's kicked in badly. So yeah, medication, does it work? I will give you my answer at the end of this video. So time to talk about therapy now. So again, you're in a similar situation. For example, you've had a breakdown recently, you've noticed you've been feeling depressed for quite a long period of time, getting really anxious, or been struggling with anger. And of course, there are other emotions, they're just the common ones I want to discuss. So you go to your doctor and you tell them about this, you open up to them, and then they, instead of medication, they may say to you, they may tell you about these different types of therapy, lots of talking therapy such as CBT, DBT, counselling, psychotherapy, etc. There are plenty of different types of therapy, but as I say, those are just the ones that you're more likely to hear in the beginning. So you can ask, obviously, your doctor all sorts of questions of what that entails, and they'll tell you. But what about the cost? How expensive are these forms of therapy? If it's a free one, like it is here in the UK on the NHS, obviously you don't have to pay, but your sessions will be limited. From people that I've spoken to that have had CBT on the NHS, it only lasts 6 weeks. I can't speak for other countries because I don't live in other countries. But there are, obviously, you can go private, but it is not cheap. I was fortunate enough to go to see a CBT therapist for a whole year, and my family paid for it. It was about £70 an hour. I know it sounds expensive, it is, but you can't put a price on your emotions and your mental health at the end of the day. I mean, as I say, yeah, I'm very grateful and lucky that I had that, because I'd definitely been in a different situation if my family didn't help me out financially there. So whether you decide to go with any of the different forms of therapy, it's going to be unusual, it's going to be weird, because you're going to have to open up to a complete stranger, talk about your feelings, talk about the thoughts you've been having, talk about all the behaviours you've been having, or carrying out, should I say. And it's going to be draining. It is at first. I mean, you have to tell your whole life story to another person. My first few therapy sessions, I can always remember coming out feeling absolutely emotionally drained, just from all that talking. And, you know, it is heavy to begin with. You know, therapy is hard hitting. It is heavy. It is even a little bit stressful, but that's how it is in the beginning. You know, your body, your mind is trying to adjust to this environment of just being completely open and talking about the most important things in your life, which essentially are your, you know, your feelings, your health. But it doesn't stay like that forever. You know, if you can continue, if you know, keep up the strength and the courage to go into therapy week by week or month by month, you will get used to it. You will know what to expect. You will be able to just go in there, talk about what's been going on since you last saw them, and it will just be easier to communicate and less draining. So yeah, you've really got to be open with your therapist. If you want therapy to work, you have got to be open and engage, because your therapist, whether it's a group therapy or a one-to-one therapy, they're going to be giving you ideas to work with. They're going to be giving you tools to work with, and they are going to try and help convert your negative perceptions of yourself and your life into more positive ones. I mean, yeah, you can just choose to sit there and listen and not act upon the things that they've given you to work with, but that's going to be absolutely no benefit to you. If you want therapy to work, you've got to go there, listen to what these people have to say, and then give these tools that you've been given to work with a good try. And if they tell you to try and look at certain circumstances differently, you have got to try and accept some of these things that they're telling you, okay? Because you're going to get nothing out of it if you just go there, that they feed you information or their opinions and their ideas, and it just goes in one ear and out the other. You're just wasting their time, you're wasting your time, and you're not going to be getting any better. So yeah, and as I say, therapy is going to be a bit uncomfortable at first, but just try and get yourself to more than a few sessions, okay? Because you're not going to get any benefit from just a few sessions. There's no way just a few counselling sessions or group therapy sessions are going to help you in just a couple of ones. You've got to really keep up with it, okay? So that's just a bit of information about taking medication and engaging in therapy. But as I say, the title of this video is, does medication or therapy work? And my honest answer is yes, as long as you keep communicating with your carer, so like your doctor or your psychiatric nurse, care coordinator, therapist, and as long as you honestly give it a damn good try, the therapy I'm referring to, and take your medication regularly. If you feel like things aren't working, you go back and you talk to the person that is caring for you. You tell them how you feel. You tell them that there's been no improvement. You tell them that you keep doing these self-destructive things, okay? Because there isn't one type of therapy and one type of medication that works for everyone, that solves everyone's problems, okay? So I had to try a different antidepressant and a different variation of it before I felt like it got to a place where it was really, really doing me good. I had to get put on antipsychotics because of some of my behaviours and thoughts. But again, that all came down to communicating with the people that were caring with for me. In therapy, I've been in several different types of therapy, and I've found the only ones that work are the ones that I engaged with, the ones that I walk out after the sessions are finished and tried the tools, like the emotional, the mental tools that the therapist has given me. You know, if I can't just go in there and then walk away and then just forget it all. That's not helpful to me, okay? So yeah, that's just my opinion, okay? You've got to take the medication regularly. If you don't feel like there's any difference there, speak to your carers about getting it changed, try a different one, or increase the dosage. Therapy, give it a try. Just continue with it. Don't expect your life to change in just a few sessions, okay? Listen to what you're being told, okay? Apply those things in your life. That is the only way you're going to get those things to work, okay? And most importantly, you need to accept the fact that nothing and nobody can help you unless you are willing to help yourself. You can take all the medication, have all the therapy in the world, but if you don't want to be helped, it's not going to help you. Okay? Thank you, guys. Yeah, sorry, I am feeling quite lightheaded and drowsy from my medication, so hopefully I didn't waffle on there too much. But yeah, guys, what do you think about medication? What do you think about therapy? Are you on it? Are you in therapy? Are you not sure? Are you not on them and you need and you're not on them and you, oh god, this medication is kicking in so badly. Anyway, yeah, just anything, your experiences, guys, leave comments in the comment section below. I love reading all your comments. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.